Hi there. Today we're going to talk about how to survive Denmark as an expat. Stay tuned. Hi again. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kelly and I'm an American living in Denmark. And today I thought I would give you some of my tips and tricks and how I've adjusted and survived living as an expat in Denmark. I know that the thought of moving to another country is really exciting. It can also be a little bit scary. But once you're here and you've set in to your new environment, a lot of things start to change. But before we get involved with that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. So how do you survive being an expat in Denmark? Here are 10 tips for you. Number 1, make sure that your visa is in order. You should have everything sorted out with what to do for your visa before you leave your home country. It's a lot of stress to get over here and realize, oh wow, I don't have everything that I need and I need to go back, or I need to contact some office in the US for these certain documents. Make sure that you look up the visa process, you get it going before you leave your country, and if you're unable to actually start the application because of some reason whatsoever, just make sure that you have the documents you need before you leave your country. And this also includes making sure that your passport is up to date, because your visa in Denmark will only be good as long as your passport is good. So make sure that it won't expire right away. That's also another thing with the visa, is make sure that you know what requirements you need to fulfill once you get to Denmark. Sometimes people are required to take a language test within the first 6 months or pay a fee or something like that. Make sure that you know exactly what it is you need to do before the application and also after your application and visa have been approved. You've got other things to worry about. Number 2, join a language class. This is actually a great place to meet people who are just like you, coming to Denmark from another country and wanting to kind of adjust to the environment. But learning the language is probably the most important thing that you can do when you move to Denmark. Yes, there are a lot of people who speak English if English is your native language, or you can speak English with ease. There's going to be a lot of documents that you would have to go through in Danish. There might be some day-to-day conversations with people who aren't very comfortable speaking in English or other languages. It just really helps when you're going out and being independent. I know that a lot of times when we first moved here, I was very dependent upon my husband to translate everything for me. And my Danish still isn't perfect. It's a work in progress. But the more effort you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. But just don't overwhelm yourself. Don't give yourself extreme expectations of learning Danish by a certain date or being fluent by a certain time period. It will come when it does. So let yourself enjoy learning a new language and have fun with it. Number 3, find other expats. In reality, expats will be your first friends, will be your strongest connections. And I'm saying that from experience, because these are people who understand what it is like to uproot your life from one country to another. These are people who understand how you feel about missing family and things like that. So it's very, very helpful to find an expat community. You may be living in a small town like I am, where there aren't that many expats. What you can do is go on to Facebook and just type in your group in Denmark. Americans in Denmark, for example, have a Facebook group. That's a great place to find other Americans who are living in Denmark, and maybe you want to kind of share an experience or you want to ask a question. There are other groups on there that aren't American, so feel free to go through and search. You can also find expat groups in bigger cities. Aarhus has an international community. Odense has an international community. Copenhagen, of course, has an international community. You can find different groups within bigger cities. You'll be more likely to do that. And if you live in a smaller city like I do, I feel that it's really worthwhile to reach out to these bigger cities and to find these groups. They have a lot of resources for integrating into the society. They have also information on getting a job or how the school system works, things like that. So it's really great to find other people you can connect with that have the same experiences perhaps beforehand and that you can learn from. Number 4 is learn the local traditions and customs. When you come to Denmark, it looks very similar to other European countries. So if you're European, you may think this is not going to be much of a difference. But in reality, every country is completely different. Every neighborhood is different. Different parts of Denmark are different from each other. So it's very important for you to learn the local traditions and customs. It can be that there's a holiday coming up and you want to know, well, what is it that we do for this holiday? What is it that this town does? What is something that is perhaps a norm for the children in school? Is there something that I need to prepare my children for? It's really exciting for me to try and celebrate Christmas, for example, the Danish way. It's not that it's taking away from my culture, but it's giving me kind of a way to transition into feeling more like I am part of my own community. We also have a flagpole. Most homes in Denmark have flagpoles. So we need to know when is a good time to fly our flag, when is a good time to fly the big flag versus the smaller flag. These are things that you can learn from a neighbor. You can learn from other expats. Maybe you can learn from people that you're meeting. So that's one way that you can transition into your new home is by learning what is normal. What is it that they're doing over there? Why are they doing that? What is this all about? Learn about some of these new things in your area and it will help you adjust to being in a new country. Number 5 goes along with the whole flag flying thing. Fly your flag. Buy some Danish flags. The Danes love to use flags for a lot of different things. When you're having a birthday party, when you're having an anniversary, they like to put up flags. When you're sporting your Danish flag or maybe your Danish scarf at a soccer game or your red and white shirt. I think it's a lot of fun. My family, we all have red and white Danish national soccer shirts. I don't know if they're like the ones that people buy. I probably have like an older version because I like to buy things on sale. But we like to go to the women's national soccer games when they come to Viborg. It is a lot of fun because we're used to going to sporting events in the US. And this is something that we can do that is national. It's Danish. It's not just our region or our town, but it is a Danish thing. And we like to put our little flags on our faces or wear the flag scarf or something like that. Flags are really important in Denmark. You see them everywhere. And it's fun if you can find a way to incorporate it. If you've got a home that has a flagpole, get a little Vippel, a teeny little streamer flag, and put it up. Number 6, join a group. I know I've already talked about meeting other expats and perhaps joining an international community, but you can join a group that is in your local community that perhaps is filled with a lot of Danish people. This is a way to put you into that Danish society. It's like, there you go, I'm just gonna put you right there. In Denmark, it is difficult to make friends. It is not easy because a lot of the people, especially if you live in a small town, have lived in that small town their entire lives. So when I am meeting kids in my son's school, they've lived here their whole lives. That's not so uncommon. But then when you talk to their parents who have also lived here their entire lives and their grandparents and everybody is around, that's kind of a nice feeling. That's how it was when I was younger, when I was growing up in Ohio. I had a large family around me and we were all very familiar with the town where we lived. But when you are a new person coming in, it's kind of hard to fit yourself into an already fully formed circle. So one thing that you can do is to join a group. They have a lot of groups, even in small towns, that are filled with Danes that normally have to do with fun things. So maybe it's a sports group, running, or biking, or swimming, or whatever. Or maybe it's some type of crafting group, like there's always a knitting group. I don't even know what else is out there. I'm sure there are plenty of other things. When I moved to Denmark, that was one of the very first things that I did, and I am so glad for it because I was able to meet people. I moved to a place where I'd never been before. I knew no one, and yes, my Danish was really rusty, but at least I was trying. Did I make strong friendships of people where we would go out and meet at each other's houses? No. That is not something that is very common to happen in Denmark. Like I said, those form circles are pretty tight and they're really hard to get into. But after a course of so many years, these people are used to me. They say hi to me when we're out in the town, or they wave to me, which is something. I mean, it's not an instant friendship like I would get in a running group in the United States. And believe me, I was in a running group in the United States. Some of the most wonderful people, some of my strongest friendships that I have right now have been with the people I met in that running group. And those were almost instant. We did a lot of things together. And when I go back to the US, those are some of the people that I see. But I have been in Denmark for years, and it takes a long time for the Danes to get used to you. So you might as well join a group doing something that you enjoy, but don't put a lot of pressure on it to say, I've got to find a best friend. Just do it because it's something fun. You need to get out of your house. Number 7, I feel, is really, really important, and that is to explore. You live in a brand new country. Go out and explore it. Don't feel that you have to have everything aligned and everything on a tight schedule. Go out and enjoy this new place. There's going to be foods that you want to try and restaurants. There may be places nearby that have some sort of historical significance. You're like, I had no idea Denmark was like that. Go out and learn about it. Go out and see something that you can't see anywhere else. Or just go out and explore nature. I love that where I live in Denmark, there are a lot of forests. I love going out in the forest. We love taking hikes and we love going for walks. Find something different about where you live. We wanted to explore when we first moved here, my 2 boys and I, because my husband was at work and they didn't have daycare yet. I didn't have a job yet. We thought, let's go explore and let's go find something interesting. And really, it was just going and walking around a town we'd never been to before. It was walking around our teeny tiny town, or it was walking around Viborg or Randers or Aarhus, places that I've never been to, and I get to explore them with my children. Maybe you're alone when you move to Denmark, but you can still have a good time exploring different places. And who knows, maybe you'll meet another expat in your expat group who'll want to go explore with you. Number 8, I think, is also really important because when you move to another country, a lot of times you have left an entire life, an entire family behind. And it's very important for you to keep the connections between your family and friends going. Don't break off ties or say, oh, well, I'll call them at some point. I know I need to be better about this because I really want to know what's going on in the lives of my family, my parents, my siblings, my nieces and nephews, my cousins. I really want to know what is going on with them. Shortly after we moved here, about a year, my cousin had a baby, and it was so difficult that I did not get to experience any of her pregnancy with her. I was able to be there on a Facebook Messenger video the day she had her baby, and that was so important. And it's so important that I get to talk to my nephews when they do something important, or I get to have a Skype call with my family on a holiday. And if my cousins are watching, Please call me when it is a holiday, when you have grandma. My grandmother does not have the internet. My grandmother does not have a cell phone. It is so important to keep that connection going. Living in another country and far away from your family can be very lonely and sad sometimes. There's so many things that you're going to miss out on, but you don't have to nowadays with the way technology is. So get that Skype set up on your phone, get that Facebook Messenger going, and make some connections with the family and friends that you left behind at home. Number 9 is something that you've done once you've adjusted and you've given yourself some time to kind of relax into this new Danish environment. And that is to look for a job. If you are an accompanying spouse like I am, I came with my husband who has a job. I didn't have a job on my own. Some of you may also look for a job as well, so that way there are 2 of you coming into the country with a job. That's probably ideal because it can be very difficult for foreigners to find jobs, even though there are many foreigners who have a lot of experience and a lot of education. I myself have a master's degree and I have 16 years of teaching experience. I was able to find a job right away in an international school because of my background, and I was pretty lucky about that. There are a lot of people who are dentists and doctors and engineers, and they have a lot to give a company or a business here in Denmark, but they have a hard time finding a job. It's really important to contact the job center in your commune or your kommune. They will help you with the job seeking process. There are also online places where you can go to look for jobs like jobindex.dk, where they have jobs posted. If you are coming to Denmark on a visa, chances are you will have a counselor at the commune who should be able to help you with the process of looking for a job. Maybe it's not a full-time job, maybe it's not your dream job, but maybe it's something that will help you integrate a little bit better and have a nice transition. Maybe it's a volunteer position that will help you with your language learning. There are a lot of options. So look into the job center when you get here and you feel, okay, I'm ready to do something different. Because having a job in Denmark will give you financial independence. It will give you a reason to get out of your house. You'll be able to make friends and use your language. And my last tip to give you, number 10, and number 10 I feel is really important for you to survive your life as an expat in Denmark, and that is to slow down. When I moved to Denmark, I wanted to go, 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 go. I think I was powered off of adrenaline and then also a little bit of fear. I thought everything has to be perfect so that way I don't get stressed out. But in reality, I got stressed out. And I think a lot of expats when they come here, especially ones that don't have jobs and they're coming with their husbands and wives, it is stressful because you feel that you're doing everything and you're doing above and beyond what you should, and it's still not clicking. Something's still not working. But you need to just give yourself time to slow down. I can't stress how important that is. Go back through all of the other steps. Make sure that you are exploring. Make sure that you're reaching out to other expats. Make sure that you're taking time to be in a group to do something that you enjoy. You don't need to go, go, go to be able to survive here. You don't need to have everything within the first month. When I moved here, it took me months to get my yellow card, which means if I don't have a yellow card, I'm not considered a resident in Denmark. I'm considered a tourist. And then it took me months after that to get a visa, even to be able to leave and come back into the country. There's a lot of wait time, and there are a lot of things that you don't have control over. So it's really best just to relax in the way things are. Don't have so high expectations for how things will be in Denmark or how things should be for you, because everybody is different Everyone's situation is different, and it's important that you take care of yourself and that you enjoy yourself. These are days and years that you'll never get back, so enjoy them and enjoy your time in Denmark. Denmark is a great place to live if you are interested in learning the language and learning the culture and becoming a part of society. It's a very warm and welcoming place if you are open to being a part of it. I hope you've enjoyed my tips and tricks for surviving Denmark as an expat. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the bell and become a subscriber to my channel. Are you someone who is coming to Denmark and you're having somewhat of a hard transition? Let me know about it in the comments. Are you someone who has come to Denmark and has had a fantastic time? What are some of your tips and tricks? I'd really love to read about those. I also have a post very similar to this with a lot more detail and maybe a little bit of humor on my blog, My New Danish Life. I will leave the link to it in the description. And I also have lots of other posts that are an expat's guide to living in Denmark type of things. Be sure to check those out and don't forget to come back and check out another video. I'm really glad you came and I'll see you again. Take care.